What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's IPvP Kids IRL here. So, what I have for you today is PvP's theoretical teams for Season 4. Okay? Season 4 has just been announced. And the new season will happen 8:30 at 3 in the morning UTC time. So for reference, it is 6:30 right now. I know on EST time, I believe we are an hour ahead. So I believe 4 a.m. 4 a.m. for Eastern Standard Time. So might be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know down in the comments. But I believe for Eastern Standard Time, I believe that will be 4 a.m. We're 1 hour ahead of what this UTC is set at. Sorry. Actually, yeah, I am right. 100% right, because that's 17:30. That's 6:30. So yeah, we're 1 hour ahead of UTC. But on to some of the more cool stuff, though. Long story short, I actually made this video, and I actually need to reshoot it because I was thinking too hard about one of these teams, and I will go into detail. It's the first team, but if you haven't already, definitely check out my last video on how to set up for any sort of a new season. So, you know, stacking up silver, how to get all of your cards together, some of the more advanced options, equipment, things to set up for. Definitely check that out if you haven't already. And then also I did post as well my first season 3 start as well. We'll be doing a first season 4. So here in a couple days, yes, I'll be waking up at 3:45 a.m. my time to wake up and play this game. Again, I really wish, devs, if you hear me, please stop doing that. Do it in the middle of the day. Thank you, every player. But nonetheless, though, let's get into it. So, first team we're going to be starting off here. This is the team that kept me up. This is the team and kind of going back into what my original thought process was, I was going to run IDAN as Chief, V as Lieutenant. But what made me want to run V as Lieutenant was Chief's call. But then I started thinking to myself, I was like, man, do I really need that extra 18% damage versus more survivability on V as Chief? So I decided to scrap the whole video, and because I really want this team to work. I don't think y'all realize how hard I am in the paint on making this team work. So I thought about it together, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to use V, because most teams are already dying before V's second set of ability basically hits on it, which will happen on IDAN. So what I'm running into this with is Perceive and Persist Noble Knights. Basically, I'm going for as much damage reduction as I can. I want to give IDAN the ability to pop off turn 1 or 2 with his set of abilities I'll go into here in a second. But the main goal here is soup up the stats. 30 on each is going to help the way that I'm building him specifically. And Perceive and Persist, give as much damage reduction. I want that to hit. Now, what made me want to run this with V in the back is the way that I will run his straight setup will actually be going straight for this right here. I will actually be running with Evade in the back. Reduce all damage taken and dealt in the first 4 turns. That extra 12% might be the deciding factor right there, and hopefully going to give me a little bit more damage reduction in the back, because I think IDAN might die a little bit too quick. Kept me up all night. I think this is the way to do this. So there's not really any benefit of putting IDAN in the back, besides even looking at the stats specifically. So we're at 198, 188. He's at 199, 165. So I was like, I think V can probably make a better Chief. So that's what I'm running with here. PMP Noble Knights, and then equipment wise, I don't really want to go into it too much, but I'll soup him up as tank. And that's the only way I'll word that much. Subutai right here, Amplified Impact, Cavalry Charge. You're never going to go wrong with running Amplified Impact or Revolt. Don't have the Revolt. Yes, bless the devs, please give me Revolt. But until I get Revolt, Cavalry Charge will pretty much stay. It does proc Foresight, so that's about as good as I can get there. For especially going red tree on him with head start. That's about as good as I can do there. And you already know the standard setup on Subby Tie, especially in Season 3. That's the standard setup on him. Idan, though. This is a bit of an interesting one. I had to get a little bit creative with him, especially for what we're trying to counter here. Military cohesion, tier 3 formations. I want that military cohesion hitting Khan, because Khan's not going to be running Amplified Impact, or Oda. Y'all know, even whenever you, especially at tier 3, a lot of these teams, it doesn't even matter who you're countering, the way the teams are built, they will just kill each other. You know, Bloody Knights has beaten my Spears Immortals AIM team a lot, but I have beaten so many Caesar teams with it. So I've kind of worked around, and y'all talked, if y'all seen recently, the would be a video where I talked about the squares. That's pretty much where I came to with that. So I'm running military cohesion there. I want to shut down the backline as much as I can. And with having 40%, activation rate, I'll get up to 70% with the probability of the active skill going up. 50% chance to skip that turn. Turn 1, turn 2, this has to go off. Tier 3 formations as well. We will actually see this hit. Hold on. I think it's 120. I believe it's 120. 80. So 80 right there. Lot of damage. 270. Huge amount of damage right there by itself. And then reducing their defense by 80 as well. That's going to give Subby Tie a lot. Now, what I want to mention is too is I'm going to have to run Head Start on him, but y'all see that speed modifier right there. I'm going to have to boost up the speed. What I did with Sun Wu, as I showed y'all in the past, I'm going to have to make Idan faster to make this team work. So that's my thought process going into this team right here. I'm hoping it'll work as a Yamato Samurai killer. I will, I'm not sitting here going to say it's going to kill Bloody Knights. I'll see how it does against them. Idan's a bit untested in reality. I'm sure people have tested him on the side, but in terms of widespread usage, we haven't really seen a whole lot of him, and maybe it's because he's not a whole lot of used card, per se. So, second team right here. I won't go into it too much. I mean, this is the team of teams that's done it for me. Zhang, Sun Wu, Bakui. Sun Wu also works very well with Li Mu / Wu Kui and Sun Ben in Season 3. Those cards work really well together. You can run the Wu Kui, Sun Wu, Li Mu, Wu Kui, Sun Wu. That team works great as well as archers. So this team has done it really well for me, running through them real quick. Persian Immortal is invulnerable here, standard setup, especially running Blue Tree on Zhang, as much damage reduction as you can. Trick and Confuse is the biggest thing that I've done here to really ramp up the damage that everyone is doing. The total stat distribution that I stole on someone consistently is about 270. 270 total stats, that is crazy. I just couldn't give that up. I thought about it, and I was like, man, 270 stats altogether. I mean, and you're taking it from one person and giving it to another. So, a lot of stats to go around right there. Tried and True, Swift Sword, Squad Quasher, Baki. Not really going to change that up. Too good. Genghis Khan right here. Khan team, I'm doing it up a little bit differently. I know I even talked about this myself, about this team not being as good as Bloody Knights. Even I know that. But I do... Part of this game is you have to make use of what you have. I don't have an infinite amount of Noble Knights to run around. I don't have an infinite amount of things of, all infinite amount of Civ skills and things like that. So, making do with what I got right here, I do think this is about this is the best team of Mongolian Cavalry Archers that you can make, is Khan, Jeb, Mongoli. So, Khan, standard setup, Surprise Strike, Stealth Charge, Triple Strike Sun Chaser. I want to have as many attacks going off as possible. I'm running solid defense on Mowgli, so as many attacks I can stay into the game a little bit longer. Sun Chaser staying true to it as well. 6% activation rate there, and then you get the 50% chance of dealing more damage, which is going to even you out at 160%. So good things there. I think this team will do pretty. I think it'll do solid A team across the board. You know, unfortunately, it's not part of the God card set. Basically, is what I would call it. And then Mongolian Cavalry Archers, solid defense here. I don't really want to run this team with him doing on a roll. I've seen a lot of people do that. A lot of people did that at the start of this season whenever they were still trying to figure out the Subutai setup of Bloody Knights. It was Mongolian Cavalry Archers on a roll and then just all damage across the whole team. But Subutai doesn't benefit at all with Cav Archers. Doesn't at all. So, didn't really make much sense, and everyone just thought, why not just throw Noble Knights on it? So, that's the goal with that team right there. Last team, as y'all see, they're pretty spicy. They are kind of spicy. So, I'm going to swap over to the spreadsheet. I don't have enough skill XP to max around. I did have some right there, but they aren't also level 20 as well. So, let's dive into the spreadsheet real quick. So, last team right here, I'll link it right here in case you're ever wondering when I'm starting or what my teams are probably going to be running. So, I'm running 2 infantry teams. Unless I majestically draw Caesar or Tokugawa or even Hannibal. Hannibal would make me allowed to get Elephant Warriors, which would definitely change up a few things. But nonetheless, though, we're running through it here with Oda, Hideyoshi, and Wukui. Even if I got Tokugawa, I would probably keep Wukui in. I think he is that great of a card, to be honest. And even if I did, if I brought in Tokugawa, Hideyoshi would still be used as a sub-support. So, what I'm running through here, Oda, Gate Conquest, Double Flank. I did break down. Gate Conquest, I hate to say it, is better than Tokugawa whenever you have Oda. I mean, you can just run Oda by himself with Gate Conquest, Double Flank, and he'll do a lot of damage. So, Hideyoshi, though, I'm using him as the Sib skill with Yamato Samurai and Burning Sun. I want to try and give as much damage back to Oda as I can. Wukui, Healing Hands, Pure Mind. Definitely an interesting setup that I'm running here as well. My goal behind this is I want to keep Oda un-CC'd and as much damage as I can possibly give him. So that's the idea behind Healing Hands and Pure Mind. Keep him un-CC'd and keep his damage boost, and even if he gets attacked, he's healing. So, I feel like that's the biggest big brain setup I can get on this team without having another Tokugawa or Takeda. If I get either one, I will definitely sort things out and swap things up. But I think right now it's probably best I can do with going full infantry. The last one, definitely spicy as well. Relentless Chase, Rapid Victories. I haven't really thought of, until I get Violent Duel, I really can't change the Olaf setup too much, because you're looking for high activation abilities on him. I know that's a common thing in along my videos is high activation rates. It's mainly because you have to be like that in order to make these teams work, because Squad Quasher at just a 35% activation rate, that's a tough sell, to be honest, because the only other person I really see it working on is Scipio, but Squad Quasher is there more as a support skill rather than a damage skill at that point. So, and whenever it does hit, it needs to hit on someone who has a ton of attack. Tons of attack. So, now Bjorn. Bjorn running Spartan Warrior. Heaven's Blessing, Chief's Call. I haven't really decided yet. I'm thinking about Chief's Call because with the guaranteed damage reduction that I'll be giving to Ragnar with how much damage he'll be taking, I am starting to think that would be better. I don't really know. It's been untested. This team isn't used a whole lot, though. But I do definitely want to give it a go. Ragnar is definitely the one that I am making spicy because I have to run him with Bloody Battle, because you get up to such high crit like that. You get it almost instantly. So, pairing up Devastating Beauty, the reason why I want to keep that is it works well with Relentless Chase. If I can get another Zhang, I can run Weapon Compensation and put that on Bjorn. And then what I'll do is then run Retaliate I want to see if it crits, and it's been untested, I know. I just haven't had as much time as I would like to. Going pillager, I will say you don't get a whole lot of time to experiment as you would like to. So bloody battle, retaliate. I want to see if the crit works how I'm thinking it will, and then I will run Ragnar bloody battle retaliate and see if I can make that work, because I think that'll be really interesting as well. So that's pretty much what I got planned. For next season, definitely these last two teams are definitely spicy. The Oda setup is very normal. Hideyoshi, I haven't really seen him used too much as a damage dealer, more as like a support really in any fashion for Oda. Wukui, he's such a good card, and I've been saying this for a while. Wukui's good, it's just taking the right team to make him. I don't know if this will. We know for certain it works with Sun Wu, and I do think that is the best setup with Wukui is the Sun Wu team. Definitely though, where is it at? Where's my Cavalry team? But that Cavalry team, I am hoping it works. I really want V to shine in some capacity. I did think a lot about what to put as his first ability. Timely action, swift advance, I think are great abilities on him. Military cohesion, though, I think it's going to be pretty stellar against the teams that I intend to use this team against. So I'm not about to go running into a Caesar team thinking this is going to beat it. No, that is not my intention in the slightest. Bloody Knights does not beat Elephant Warrior Caesar. I will tell you that much. I have that not even close. So, Archer's team right here, what I'm hoping to counter is just spears in general. Any sort of a spear. Infantry. The way Oda's working right now, it's too much damage to try and counter. And without a weakened, Unhinge is even silence as well, so it doesn't really work too well, even against the infantry that you're trying to counter. It certainly will not be Elephant Warrior Caesar. That's pretty much out the door. So I think it'll stack up well, but lose majority against Bloody Knights. So, but yeah, pretty standard stuff on the first couple of teams, and then we get a bit wild as we go down the list. Starting team as well, I will go ahead and say that I'm pretty much running the same thing I was last season. It was tried and true, worked for me. Mugli Subutai, I will start. If y'all look at my last video, the biggest thing that I wanted to discuss was Tachibana being used as the last card. My goal is to rush to the next tech level and use Mugli as soon as possible. So that's my goal with him. Tachibana, triple strike, stealth charge, nothing new there. Subutai, if I can get Revolt, bless the devs, I will then use Revolt there. I will still use Amplified Impact first. I think that is just, with him working so well with Mugli in the start, with stacking up that increased damage, Amplified Impact's really going to shine there over Revolt. So that's pretty much what I got planned. So yeah, I hope this helps you kind of decide maybe how to build some teams going into your next season. This is for season 4. I originally thought it was going to be season 3 times 2, but we are actually going to season 4. So that'll be interesting to see. No new cards were released, as I showed y'all. It is actually, in case you haven't seen it already, go look at your rewards tab if you're in season 3. It is season 3 and season 2 specific cards. Definitely interesting. Love to see it, though. It gives people a chance to draw from the older pack as well. If you are not getting Conquers, then you're getting the same thing I am, which is, I don't know what it is for regulars, but Divided Lands is what I'll get, which is, honestly, pretty good setup. Pretty good setup. You can get Tokugawa and Charlemagne, and if you get Conquer, you actually have a chance of drawing Sun, Ben, and William. And to be honest, I would rather have a higher chance of drawing Tokugawa and Charlemagne again than I would William and Sun Ben. So I'm pretty set with that. Now what I'll be getting for rewards will be kind of sucky, but all fun and games. We do know we do know for a fact it's the same worlds 1 through 8, which is what I would like to see. I don't want to throw in a new world here just yet because let some other people catch up to us first, and then we can keep re-rolling. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, let me know what you're starting, what your teams are, what your thoughts are in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.